Hello everyone. I'd like to take you to my ordinary day at home. Usually on the weekends I'm just at home if I'm not running errands. But today I've decided to make my homemade Gyoza Dumplings. It's one of my favorite Japanese food. As for this recipe, we'll make the dough first. We have to combine the flour, hot water, and a pinch of salt. I usually put the salt within the hot water and I stir it using my chopstick. It would be easier to dilute the salt before adding it into the flour. All the exact measurement will be added within the description, so can you just read? So once I've diluted this salt within the hot water, I combine it with the flour and I have to mix it very well until they incorporate. And once incorporated, that's ready for you to knead the dough. That would approximately 10 minutes, so you have to knead the dough within 10 minutes. So first I'd like to stir it with my chopstick and then transfer it to my wooden chopping board, or so I would say, where I usually knead my dough. After 10 minutes, you should see a very elastic dough like you've seen in the video. And then we have to set it aside for another 30 minutes. So I usually wrap it within my cling wrap, my plastic wrap, and then I just put it somewhere colder or usually inside my fridge for 30 minutes. And yeah, that's ready for resting. While waiting for my dough, I also prepare my filling. So I have to chop cabbage into very tiny pieces, like the shredded cabbage. And actually, I usually manually chop it, but I have a very useful tool which doesn't need much energy for me. So I just put it and then run it using this manual something chopping tool. It's very useful. Doesn't need a battery, so yeah. It's also exercising my muscles, but still, like I don't have to worry if I chop my fingers while chopping my cabbage. But yeah, see. And we also need green onions for this one. I only have few with me, so I only put few green onions for the filling. We also need minced garlic, about 3 cloves of garlic. And you just have to mix them all together. The cabbage, the garlic, and of course the meat. I'm using pork meat here, so it's more tasty. We also need salt, a bit of salt, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, more or less, sesame oil. I'm using Silver Swan soy sauce here. I'm very Filipino at home. And yeah, some chicken stock. I have the powdered one. And you just have to mix everything. And the sesame oil would make this dish more tasty, and it smells so good. And of course a bit of pepper to add a bit of taste. And just mix them all together, and that's it. That's ready. At this stage, we're ready to make our gyoza dumplings. So first, I need to smear some cornstarch on my chopping board. I don't need to knead the dough this time, but I just have to roll it into like elongated shape and cut it into smaller pieces for easier for me to roll it, to flatten it and roll it into circles. In this recipe, you could make like more or less 25 to 30 dumplings, depends on the size of your dough. So I just have to roll it, flatten it with my palm, and then roll it with my rolling pin into like circle. At this time, we're ready to put the filling into our dough. So you just have to put a tablespoon of the filling and close the dough, like folding and pinching it to close it. You may use also water to close the dough, but I don't usually use water. I just fold, pinch like in the video, and then that would be enough for the dough to close. And this dumpling is ready. Let's try one more time. So fold, pinch, and that's just it. I'm not an expert in this regard, but I'm trying my best. But this is one of my best recipes. So yeah, there you have it. Our gyoza is ready. I also made Misua Noodles. So I just made some kind of meatballs, like a bola, like meatballs. So the usual recipe, and then you just have to saute the onion over the hot oil, a bit of oil, and then after that you have to add hot water and your chicken stock. And I just have to prepare 2 eggs. I have to beat it a bit and then add it into the stock. Misua noodles is one of my comfort food, especially during the winter. So yeah, I just added the egg and then stir it with your chopstick or with your ladle to incorporate it into your chicken stock or whatever stock you have for the soup. And then later I just have to add the meatballs that I prepared and fried, of course. And then I have to add the Misua noodles. So if you're Filipino, you are very familiar with Misua. I love this, especially rainy season in the Philippines is one of my comfort food. I love Misua with sardines or with those smoked tinapa or even with a dried fish. I love it. But this time I just put meatballs with my Misua. And then after, I just have to add the bok choy because it's the only green vegetables that I have at home. And then I just have to boil it for a few minutes, more or less 5 to 6 minutes, and our Misua noodles should be ready to go. And then just taste it accordingly, like a pinch of salt, or you may add a bit of pepper to make it more tastier. And yeah, you may add also carrots or whatever vegetables you wanted to add there, or zucchini. But this, I only have bok choy at home this time, and that's enough for me. And now we're ready to fry and steam our gyoza dumplings. So I have to heat the frying pan. Once the oil is heated, is hot enough, so I have to add the gyoza dumplings in circles, so they're like dancing on top of the oil, like more or less for 3 to 5 minutes. That's enough for the bottom to be a bit crunchy and crispy when you bite it. And then after 5 to 6 minutes, you can add 1/3 of water, 1/3 within the pan, and you cover the pan, and yeah, it's just like steaming the dumplings, and wait for around 5 to 10 minutes, that it would make the dumplings really steamed inside. Make the dumplings steamed and enough for the inside to really cooked, and it should be ready to be eaten. So yeah, just like what I did here, I added the water and then cover it, and it's ready to be eaten. Yeah, so here we are, ready to dive into our lunch while it's very snowy outside. And here I am trying out my gyoza dumplings. It's brown and crispy outside, so when I bite it, it's so crispy. And of course, it's my me time after cooking. I have to grab a glass of beer. It's with 0 alcohol, and grab my book and have my own me time. And I'm trying to enjoy the rest of my day here, and I hope you too find time for yourself within the week. Do you also find time for yourself within the week? I hope you always find time for yourself within your day or within the week. I know our week is always full of responsibilities, work, home life, but it's important for our mental health to find time for ourselves, like just sitting in a corner doing nothing, not thinking about work and home, and that would be good for your mental health. I hope you enjoy my ordinary time at home, and I hope to see you next time and enjoy our winter scenery. This is our view from our home, from the place where we live here in Poland. It's still very snowy, but yeah, we need to enjoy the season. And as I sign off, thank you for being here, thank you for listening, and I hope I am able to partake something from my day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now. Enjoy your day.